Hello, good morning and welcome. It's Keith from English Speaking Success and the Keith Speaking Academy. Today we have an exciting live lesson all about the weather. We're going to be looking at some language, some idioms, an interview with somebody. We're going to be talking about all sorts of exciting stuff. Stay tuned with me. I think you're going to enjoy today. Just wrap up warm because it is a little bit cold. Let's kick off. Hello and welcome. Very nice to see you here. I am looking forward to today's lesson. We're going to be talking all about the topic of the weather. Ta-da! Whether it's cloudy, get it? Whether it's cloudy or sunny, wherever you are, hot or cold, you're going to find out today how to talk about it on this topic of the weather. Lots of interesting stuff today. Let me just tell you, I'm going to walk you through what we're going to do. We're going to begin by looking at some vocabulary on this topic, all about the weather. And then we're going to move in and we're going to do what? We're going to have an interview. So today I've invited somebody along. I actually recorded this interview a few days ago and we're going to have a chat. You're going to have a chance to listen to some natural English, an interesting topic, and also some tips about learning to help you with your English learning and preparing IELTS as well. Of course, we'll be looking at idioms. I'm a big fan of idioms. They can help you with your spoken English in particular. We use a lot of idioms in spoken English. So we'll be looking at some idioms related to, of course, weather, right? The topic of weather. And what else will we do? We'll be finishing up with a Kahoot review. And if you're wondering, Keith, what is Kahoot? Well, it's a game. It's a game we'll play together, quite interactive, to find out if you're paying attention today. So make sure you pay attention all the way through the class, okay? So weather is the topic today. Listen, let me bring this up. It looks so professional. Let's make it unprofessional. Let's do that, right? So I'll leave that there so that those of you who are late, oi, that's you, you know what the topic is, right? Weather. Nice. Who's in the house today? Hey, Stefano, nice to see you from Cagliari, Sardinia. Great. Chiara says she's in bed. Come on, get out of bed. What time is it? Maybe it's time for bed. Mohammed Razib Al Mamoun, authentic Bangladeshi. Great, good. Azra, how should we join YouTube? Well, Azra, I see you're on Facebook, so what you can do is go to the YouTube channel, just search English Speaking Success, right? Go and look for it and you'll find it. Artyom, nice to see you. Shamim in Tehran, where it's raining. Oh, well. Who else is in the house? We've got Boba Fond from the French Basque country. Fantastic. Abdulaziz, nice to see you here. Ralph, great, good to see you. Dawood, good to see you as well. Artyom says it's cloudy in Estonia. Hassan Nasir from Pakistan, great to see you. And Elvi from the Philippines. So welcome, all of you. Today we're talking about the weather. Brilliant, good. It's going to be interesting. I think you're going to like today's class. We're going to find out all different ways of talking about the weather, where you live in your country, changes in the weather. We're not going to talk much about climate change, but I'll give you some other material to help you with that. Good. What else to let you know? If you enjoy my live lessons, you might like my online course. I do have an online course. Let me show you. It's called IELTS Speaking Success Get a Band 7+. So if you're new here, this might be interesting for you for preparing for IELTS speaking. I think last week I updated it for 2022. You know, there are new questions from January up to April. So I've just updated the course with a few extra videos. So if you already bought the course, you can see those automatically. If you buy the course now, of course, you get access to all of that. I'll just ask the moderators who are in with me if they could share the link to the course. If you're not sure where to find the course, let me show you. If you go to my website, and the website is keithspeakingacademy.com. If you go over there, you'll see something that looks like this, right? And basically, if I just take those away, on the home page, there's a little picture of me and it says study with me. You can just go there, press study with me, and you'll find it. You could go to online courses in the top corner. You can also find it. In fact, it's all over the website. Wherever you go, you'll find a link to get there. But if you press that study with me, it just takes you to the course, updated 2022. You can find out more about it, how it's going to help you build your confidence, how it's going to help you learn natural English. If you want to find out more, there's a little video to tell you about it. And then a little bit about me, what students have said, and what you get in the course. And, you know, if this course is right for you, and if you look at the curriculum and you think that's what I need, then you can go ahead and click on the buy button, wherever it says buy, and go ahead and buy it. So that's it. That's the course, right? If it's right for you, then go for it. Okay. Now then, let me have a look, get my notes. What else do I need to say? Don't need to say anything, really. We can just go straight in, right? Because we're talking about the weather. What's the first thing on the agenda? Well done, you. Vocabulary. Let's jump straight in with a little bit of vocabulary. But I have to do that. Boom. Boom. Yes, that's it. When I switch screen. Okay. Here we go. IELTS speaking vocabulary. So in this lesson, we're going to learn some vocabulary and expressions to talk about travel. Come on. You can tell that I paste and copy, right? Sometimes I do paste and copy because it's the secrets of productivity. Talk about the weather. So don't worry, the rest of the notes are not copied. The first thing, we can use adjectives. Of course, adjectives are so important in IELTS speaking, and having a wide range of adjectives to really talk accurately about what you want to express. So we've said, for example, some people said it's rainy in my country or it's hot in my country. I think RTM said it's cloudy in my country at the moment, or where I am. It's rainy and cold, says Nila. Okay, so you've got some examples here of adjectives of what the weather is like in your country. Any others? Let me just have a quick look. It's windy in my country. We've got it's very cold in Italy, says Gladys. Selma says it's foggy, so you can't see. Morgad, lucky you, it's sunny. I say lucky. I mean, it's lucky if it's sunny, as in not too hot. Yosra says it's sunny today, yet a bit nippy. I like that. Nippy means cold, right? A bit cold. It's cloudy. Buchareb says it's cloudy in my country. What else have we got? This is interesting. I'm going to share it because it's a great example of a synonym that is not the correct synonym. So Muhammad Dior, thank you very much for sharing this. Frigid means cold, but not for the weather. We cannot say the weather is frigid or it's frigid. A person is frigid, not the weather, right? Here, you'd be better to say it's cold, or it's, as somebody said earlier, it's cold and nippy, right? It's cold and nippy. So cold is the better word. Nippy is also cold. That's much nicer. Thank you very much for sharing that. This is how we learn, right? This is brilliant. trying new vocabulary to find out if it works well. Excellent. What else have we got? It's sunny today, but cold. Right. Om taha. Great. Sunny but cold. Excellent. So there are different adjectives. Let's have a look. To say very hot. Well, hot is good. But what about if we make it richer? Let's make our vocabulary even better, right? Talking about the weather, remember? Only the weather. So instead of very hot, we can say it's scorching. I want you to work with me on the pronunciation, right? Notice, as the first letter is an S and it's, you only need one S, right? It's scorching, right? Instead of it's scorching, just link, it's scorching. Can you say that? It's scorching. Yeah. It's scorching today. Next one, sweltering. Sweltering is also very hot, has the idea of sweating as well, that you're sweating. It's so hot, you're sweating. Sweating. Say with me, it's sweltering. Yeah, it's sweltering today. Nice. Next one, boiling, literally from when you take water, right, and it boils. It's so hot. So this is idiomatic, right? It's not literally boiling like water, because that would be 100 degrees and we'd be dead. But idiomatically, it's boiling in my country. Great. Or in my country, right? This is interesting because when we talk about the weather, it's difficult to say in my country unless your country is very, very small, like Andorra or Monaco, because probably your country has lots of different weather. So it's useful, but you may want to say it's boiling today. It's boiling in my city. Maybe that's better. Let me change that, because in my country, I'm guessing, right, that there are different kinds of weather in different parts of the country. I'm going to change that to city. I've just realized. And the last one, baking. Again, idiomatic, because to bake bread or to bake a cake is in the oven. So the idea that you're in an oven, it's so hot. Idiomatic. It's baking in my city. Can you say it's baking in my city? Yeah. Make that stress on the A. A. It's baking in my city. Over-exaggerate, because when you speak naturally, it becomes smaller. So when you're practicing, make it too big, right? It's baking in my city. That's the way to practice. Nice. Good. So very hot. Excellent. We can also say, who've we got? Lots of practice. There we go. Loti, it's baking in my city. I can almost hear you. It's baking in my city. Back says, it's scorching today. Nice. Excellent. Now let's take the opposite, right? If it's not very hot, we might want to say it's cold. And cold, different words we can say. Instead of cold, we could say it's quite chilly. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Chilly, chilly, a bit like, well, a bit like the food, chili con carne, right? Chili con carne. Say with me, it's quite chilly. Okay, it's quite chilly. Very cold is freezing cold. It's freezing cold. Yeah. Okay, so let me make this clear. I'm going to put them in order, right? It's quite chilly. Or it's nippy. We had nippy, right? It's nippy. It's cold. It's freeze, and then it's freezing. And then it's freezing cold. Those are probably the same, actually. It's freezing cold. Yeah. You can say both, right? It's freezing. Again, idiomatic. or it's freezing cold. So I'll put them all in capitals. It's quite chilly, is a little bit. It's nippy, a bit more. It's cold, normal. It's freezing cold, the most, right? Okay. Mahi says, it's freezing in Cairo the past 2 days, which is out of normal here. Which is out of normal. Which is out of normal. I can see what you're trying to say. We wouldn't say out of normal in English, which is not normal. I know in in some languages, I think like in Spanish, fuera de lo normal, it would be out of, but in English, it's not normal, which is not normal. Or abnormal. That's nice. May Mohammed, thank you very much for that. Rusha, it's freezing cold in Nepal. Well, you're up in the mountains. I'm not surprised. You're near Mount Everest, right? Fantastic. This is a great question, Shehzad. What about heavy cold? No, you see, that's brilliant because that's really good that you're testing and trying. But in English, we do not say heavy cold. What would we say? It's really cold, right? It's really cold. Oh, what have I done? I've unfortunately just deleted your question, but we would say it's really cold, right? It's really cold. Johnny Beck, that is nice. It's not freezing cold in my city. That's great. You can practice the language, but just put it in the opposite. Nice. Okay. Niluf, where are you? You've gone. It's quite chilly in Chiang Mai. Ah, good. Is that good? I don't know. Good English is what I mean. Hokkaido, it's freezing cold. Nilufor, this was a nice one. It's bitterly cold, right? It's bitterly cold. Let me add that on the list because I like that. It's bitterly. There. It's bitterly cold. Nice. Very, very nice. Yes, ice cold. Yes, from I can't pronounce it, but yes, ice cold. Good. Very, very good. Freezing cold. It's ice cold. The weather is ice cold. Would you say the weather is ice cold? I would definitely say this drink is ice cold, right? The water is ice cold. The drink is ice cold. The weather, it's ice cold today. Possibly. I mean, it's idiomatic, right? Possibly. Definitely for drinks, possibly for weather, right? Okay, great, good. So we've got cold. Let's move on. Wet are the kinds of weather. So again, instead of saying, well, it's wet, it's humid, right? It's humid today. It's humid. Again, to show that it's very wet, it's soaking wet. Again, it's kind of idiomatic. When you're soaking, you're covered in water. When you come out of the shower, you're soaking wet. Or if you've been walking in the rain, you're soaking wet. You could also say, though, the weather, yeah, it's soaking. Can you hang on a minute? No, you can't. It's soaking wet. Yes, you could say that. It's soaking wet. You could say, I'm soaking wet, if you're covered in water. What's the weather like today? Yeah, it's raining, soaking wet. Tell you what, I'm not 100% sure if that sounds completely natural. I'm going to say, I'm soaking wet, right? It's humid today, but I'm soaking wet because I was walking in the rain. Excellent. Good. So that's wet. We can talk about wet. Any other words for wet? I'm thinking wet. It's soaking wet in my place now. Yeah, I think that's all right. My city is not soaking wet. So Bida, this is a very interesting one, right? Raining cats and dogs. Yes and no. Yes, as in it exists in English. My only problem with this is it's very old-fashioned, and in many dictionaries it does say obsolete. But probably more importantly, in England, we very rarely say this. It does sound a bit strange, right? I would tend not to use it. It's okay. It's correct English, but it's not very modern English, shall we say. Okay, great, good. Another one, Gladys says, the weather is watery. Again, very good idea, but not really. The weather is watery. Sounds very, very strange. I wouldn't say that. No. Okay, what else have we got? Yeah, damp. Somebody says damp. The weather's damp. You could say that. It's damp. It feels damp today. We do talk about damp in a house on the walls, but also you could say the weather or the climate is damp. The weather's a bit damp. It feels damp. It's humid. It feels damp. I'm going to put that in. I think that's okay. Okay, nice. UH Shah, thank you very, very much. Moving on from wet. So sunny and sunshine are very clear. The opposite, if there's no sunshine, like not very bright, and it's dark, but not dark as in nighttime, but in the daytime, then we could say it's bleak, it's gloomy. That's similar. So these are similar to cloudy. The idea that it's cloudy. Bleak is it's not bright and cold. It's not bright. Hang on. And it's cold. So bleak, the weather is bleak. It just means, yeah, it's not bright, probably cloudy, but it's also cold. Gloomy, again, gloomy, similar thing, very similar. It's dull. Dull is cloudy, dark and cloudy, basically. And overcast is basically cloudy. The idea of cloudy, not cowdy. Cloudy, like the wine, Cloudy Bay, if you're into your white wines. Cloudy Bay. Overcast. So say with me, because these are, again, not easy to pronounce. It's cloudy. You try and get the ow instead of ah. It's not a single vowel. It's a diphthong. So it slides. It's ow, ow, ow. Sorry, it's ow. Cloudy. It's cloudy. It's cloudy today. It's bleak. It's bleak. Good. It's gloomy. Again, that's a long vowel sound. It's a ooh, glue. It's gloomy. Remember what I said about exaggerating, because when you speak, your sounds go small. When you practice, then make your sounds big. So don't say gloomy, say gloomy. It's gloomy. Nice. Dull. It's dull. Can you see the tongue, right? It's not dull, it's dull. It's dull. I almost bite my tongue at the end. But I'm not hungry, so I don't eat it. It's dull. Good. The tongue just rests, relaxed on the teeth. So you get that dark L, right? It's dull today. It's overcast. It's overcast. Brilliant. Good. Love your pronunciation. Very, very nice. So not very, very bright. Good. Some good questions here. Abdo says, can we use dull as boring? Yes, you can. He is such a dull person, right? This is such a dull program. Absolutely, yes. Big Billy, it's so overcast and dull today. Nice, very, very nice. Mohamedor, can we say dismal for weather? Yes, yeah. Dismal is similar to bleak, right? It's not bright, it's cold, it's horrible, right? So yes, you can also say it's dismal. Just means not nice, cold, gloomy. Excellent question. I love how you have positively taken my feedback and you keep trying. Well done. That's fantastic. So the answer there is yes, absolutely. Good. Foggy. Yes, we can. Foggy, of course, foggy is different from cloudy. I'm not a weatherman, so I'm not sure exactly. I mean, cloud is the rain particles in the air up there. Fog is on our level, it's on ground level. I think it's something to do with the condensation, the water, and you get fog. I don't know, but to use it, yes, foggy and not very bright. Absolutely, yes. Great. Omina says, I don't fancy bleak days. Me neither. It's pouring. That's nice. It's raining a lot. It's pouring. Yes. How can we use It's Raining Cats and Dogs? My advice, don't use it. What else? I love gloomy weather. Choi Yi, interesting. Yeah, sometimes I love gloomy weather. Misty, again, yeah, misty is similar to foggy. Very, very similar. Yeah. Pradeep says humid is similar to muggy. Yes, yes. It's muggy. Yes, yeah. Very, very similar. Yes. Muggy is very, very similar to humid. It's muggy today. That's a very British word, I think. It's very muggy today. I like that. That's nice. Humid and muggy. Let's add that one to our list earlier. It's muggy. Okay, excellent. So we've been through not very bright. Did I have any others? Unstable was my last one. Changeable. This is, we often say this because in Great Britain, in the United Kingdom, the weather is very, very changeable. 4 seasons in one day. If you remember the song, the idea that you have 4 seasons in one day. In the morning in Britain, it can be raining, then it can be sunshine, then it can be windy, and then it can be foggy. I mean, who knows? The weather is so changeable, unstable. Different ways of talking about it. Okay, so here we're looking at lots of different. Adjectives to describe the weather. I'm going to move on and talk next not about adjectives but about nouns. Okay, how we can use nouns to talk about the weather. So, for example, we get a lot of ba 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 ba. Right? This is what we could say. Let me bring this down so it makes it a little bit clearer for you. Okay. So we use nouns. We get a lot of sunshine, sunny spells. So a sunny spell is a short period of sunshine. So maybe that's 1 hour or 2 hours. In Britain, it's quite common on a cloudy day, you may get some sunny spells. So maybe for 1 hour, the sun peeps out. And then in the afternoon, the sun will peep out for another 2 hours. Sunny spells. Let me just write that in then. Short periods of sunshine. You are my sunshine. My only sunshine. You make me happy through night and day. We get a lot of tropical storms. So for those of you maybe over in Asia or in tropical climates, tropical storms. I say Asia, of course, not everywhere in Asia is tropical, but around the equator or the tropics. Showers, we get a lot of showers. So showers, of course, is when you go in the shower and you wash your body. But idiomatically, rainfall is a shower. It's a countable noun, right? We have a lot of showers in Santander in the north of Spain. That's why the countryside is so beautiful and green, because we have a lot of showers. We get a lot of showers. Okay. Downpours is the noun. So somebody earlier mentioned it is pouring, which means it's raining. The noun is a downpour. We had a downpour last night. It lasted for 2 hours. It was pouring down. A downpour. Heavy rain. Notice that collocation, heavy rain, because earlier somebody asked about heavy, what was it? Somebody put heavy Fog? No. They put two together and it wasn't right. But rain, heavy rain. Yes, right? Heavy rain. Strong wind, heavy rain. Or torrential rain. If you want to sound really good, torrential rain, right? Say this with me. Torrential. Torrential. Yes. Torrential rain. We get a lot of torrential rain. We get a lot of torrential rain in Santander. Nice. Feel the rhythm. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. We get a lot of torrential rain in Santander. English is full of this. Dee 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 dee. It's all about that rhythm. I think that's why music in English sounds so good. I mean, I would say that because I'm English, but it has that time stress. Dim, di, dim, di, dim, di, dim. Okay, torrential rain. So that's rain. What about snow? We get a lot of snow. Uncountable noun, right? A lot of snow. Blizzards, countable. A blizzard is like a snowstorm. Let's make that clear, basically. A snowstorm. So we get a lot of snowstorms, we get a lot of blizzards, right? Great word. Love it. Blizzard. Blizzard. Why does that sound so good? Blizzard. We get a lot of blizzards. We get some blizzards in Santander, not in the city, but in the mountains. We're next to the European peaks. They're called the Picos of Europa. And you do get blizzards over there. Right. Wind, storms, hurricanes. Okay. So what I've done is if the noun is countable, I've put an S. Okay. Just to make it clear for you. If there's an S, you know that it's a countable noun. If there's no S, like rain, then you know it's uncountable. Wind, uncountable, right? We get a lot of wind. We get a lot of storms. We get a lot of hurricanes. Gosh, when I was living in Taiwan, we had a lot of hurricanes over there. Hurricanes or typhoons, right? They often call them typhoons. We get a lot of hurricanes. We get a lot of typhoons. Hurricanes. Lovely. Heat wave. So if you want to talk about it's hot, to make it into a noun, a heat wave. Okay, we get a lot of heat waves. And finally, the opposite, we get a lot of droughts. A drought is where there's no rain for long periods of time. So that may be a day, 2 days, a week, a month, depending on your country. So when it's so hot and there's no rain and the land dries out, we say drought. A drought. It's that ow sound. Do you remember cloudy? Drought. Really practice moving your lips when you're speaking English. Drought. Don't say drought. It was a drought. No, it was a drought. We get a lot of droughts. It's funny, right? England is a country where... I'm going to have a rant. I'm going to have another rant. I love having rants, right? A rant is a complaint. Let me rant about this. England is a country where it rains so much. In the north of England, I'm from Manchester, it pours down. We get a lot of downpours, right, throughout the year. And yet, when the sun comes out for 1 day or 2 days, we get a sunny spell, and then it's sunny for 2 days, and then the government says, there's a drought. Turn off all the water. Stop using so much water. You can't wash your car with water because there's a drought. I'm like, hello? We've had 6 months of rain, and for 2 days it's not raining, and the government says there's a drought? Seriously? Rant finished. Thank you. Listen, as I finish my rant, let me have a drink, because it's thirsty work ranting. Ba-dab-shee-be-doo-be-doo-be-doo-be, bum-bum-bum. Oh, I love to rant. You've got to rant, haven't you? Norika says, almost days are raining in Lee Smile, Manchester. Almost most days are raining, you mean, right? Almost most days. Almost most days are raining. Lee Smile. James says, it's tsunami here. Ah, you said, oh, it's, well, tsunami. That's different from a typhoon, though, right? I mean, tsunami is literally the wave, the massive wave that comes up. Just to make it clear to everyone, I think I understand what you're saying, but I would say we have tsunamis here, or that we have a tsunami today, maybe. Yes. Okay. What else have we got? Fatima, heavy rain is so much rain or strong rain? Heavy rain is so much rain or strong rain? Oh, I see what you mean, right? Is it for a long time or is it just strong? Strong, right? It's strong. But don't say, I understand what you're saying, but don't say strong. Heavy rain means it is strong. I'm going to phrase it like this. I'm going to phrase it as in this way, right? Heavy rain means it is intense. Strong, right? But we don't say strong rain, right? Just to make it clear. Otherwise, people will have that in their head. And so let me take it out so that it doesn't, otherwise it's going to be the elephant in the room. Heavy rain means it's intense. Yeah. Perfect. Nice question. Great. So expensive water bill. I know. Enjoy your drink. Thank you very much. Great. GB government don't know English, Keith. Yes. They don't know much. No, they do. Of course they do. Well, do they? Bangladesh is a country of rain. Ah, I like it. Great. I like it. Says your rant was great. Oh, it's so important to rant, right? We can't be positive all the time. We have to rant sometime. It's a bit chilly here. Great. It's a bit chilly. Good. Right. This is really good. Green Lantern, thank you for sharing this, because I'm going to make a correction, but just to show everybody, because a lot of people say this, right? It was a blustery blizzard yesterday. Now, you can't say it was with a noun. It was plus adjective. It was cold. It was windy, right? If you want to use a blustery blizzard, right, there are two things you can do. You can either say, and I'll put this up here, there was a blustery blizzard yesterday. Perfect. There was, or if you prefer, you can also say, we had. Do you remember that I said we get a lot of rain? If it's just yesterday, we had a lot of rain. We had a blustery blizzard yesterday. Blustery blizzard. You know, in English, that's called an alliteration, and it's poetic. It's beautiful. I love that. Really nice. Green Lantern. Interesting. There was a blustery blizzard yesterday. Thank you so much for sharing. This is how we learn, right? Love it. Oh, Obrero has. It's pelting down. That's nice. Also, you can guess, right? I mean, look at down. Remember? Pouring down. So you can guess. It means it's raining a lot. Heavy rain. Intense rain. Like it, Obrero. Very nice. Thank you very much. Yes. What else have we got? We have a lot of sleet in winter. Lovely. Sleet. That's nice. Sleet. Let's add that, because sleet for those of you who don't know, sleet is, in English, of course, is snow and rain together. Sleet. Snow and rain together. We have a lot of sleet in England, in Manchester. There's quite a lot of sleet in Santander, in the mountains. Good. Let me just go back. Thank you so much for that. Those are lovely, lovely comments. So I've just added sleet here, right? Which means snow plus rain together. Sleet. Uncountable. Excellent. So we've looked at adjectives. We've looked at nouns. I think there's something else. Verbs. Verbs. Yes. Just to make it clearer, it is always ba where I live. So we can use verbs, right? It's always raining where I live. It's always pouring. That's a lovely long vowel. Remember to exaggerate. Pour. Don't say it's pouring, because when you practice, you want to over exaggerate. It's pouring. It's pouring down. Drizzling is light rain. Remember we said heavy rain, very intense. The opposite, light rain. It's drizzling. It's always drizzling where I live. It's always snowing, sleeting. Do you remember? Snow and water. Hailing. Hailing is snow that's very hard and little balls of hard snow. Sometimes big balls. Great. Little balls of hard snow. Good. So we can use verbs as well, like this. It's raining, it's snowing, it's pouring. Anything else? I'm sure you guys will have some. Let's see. Is it hail a kind of rain? Stefano says. Ew. Is it a kind of rain like ice rain? I think it's in between kind of rain and snow and something else. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not a weatherman, so I don't know exactly. But I know that when it hails, get out. I mean, get indoors, because it's quite hard. We had a downpour yesterday, Anuski. Very, very nice. Love it. Right. Great. Yolanda says it's always sleeting. It's always sleeting in SA. SA is South Africa, I assume. Yes. Fatma. Okay, it's always plus a verb, right? Modest climate you can't use because modest climate is a noun, right? So what you have to do here is to say we always have a modest climate. We always have a modest climate. Modest, I think a better word, right, for climate and weather is mild. If it's not very hot, not very cold, mild climate, right? We have a mild climate where I live. Fatma, thank you so much. That's great. Lulu says, it's pretty snuggly where I live. What do you mean snuggly? Snuggly is when you're wrapped up warm indoors, right? Outside, it's cold, it's bleak and gloomy. But indoors, you're wrapped up, you're nice and warm, you've got a nice hot cup of tea. It's pretty snuggly where I live. It's snuggly in your house, right? It's snuggly in your bedroom, but it's not snuggly outside. But thanks for sharing. Great, great. Twinkle says it's always raining where I live. Fantastic. Elizabeth Rin from Korea. Hello, from South Korea. Hello and welcome. Yes. Excellent. Good. Drizzling. Yes. Yes. Gayat, you've asked, can we use drizzling? It's always drizzling where I live. Yes. Great. Akram as well from South Korea. Nice. Brilliant. Good. So listen. Okay. Good. I'm just checking. It's sleeting RN though in it's sleeting in Tehran. I get that. It's sleeting in Tehran. Yes. Any difference, Shark? Good question. Any difference if you say it always rains? It is always raining. It always rains. To be honest, it's the same. There's a small difference in feeling or connotation or nuance, right? It always rains is the present simple. So that's kind of a habit or a state. It always rains. When you say it's always raining, the feeling is a bit stronger because it's the present continuous. You can almost feel the rain here now. Like the continuous has a feeling of happening now. It's always raining in Santander. It's just, it feels stronger. There's more emotion because you can almost feel the rain closer to you. So to be honest, the meaning is the same, but the feeling is a bit stronger with it's always raining, right? Okay, beautiful question. Can you have a beautiful question? A good question. Thank you, Shark. 37K. Lovely, great. So we've looked at adjectives, we've looked at nouns, we've looked at verbs, lots of different ways of talking about the weather in your country, right? I've got two more. Well, yes, okay, two more. I forgot. Let me just go through these quickly. It tends to, because this means not all the time, but often, right? If you want to say it often rains, it tends to rain, it tends to pour down, it tends to snow, or, so I'll just put here verb, or we frequently have, plus a noun. We frequently have, and you worry about pronunciation. Even native speakers have trouble sometimes with pronunciation when you get the f and the r and the l all mixed in. We frequently have snowstorms, typhoons, blizzards. Okay, different ways of talking about it. Excellent, good. I want to bring that to an end because we've talked a lot about vocabulary, okay, which is great. So we've talked about vocabulary, right? Let me ask you a question then, a very, very quick question. And my question is this. I'll put the question up. What is the weather like where you live? Okay. What is the weather like where you live? I'm doing this so you can practice and so I can have a drink. Put it in the comments. Just tell me. Try and use some of the language we've been practicing. What is the weather like where you live? Good. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put this up there. Nice. 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 It tends to be mild. Nice, Beverly. It is freezing in my country. Nice, Gladys. Ha! That's why I live in Santander. Nice, good. Oh, nice. Not the weather, the weather. The H. It's a typo. I know, it's a typo. H. Lovely, Bertha. Nice. Parky in the morning and sunny in the afternoon. Nice. We just need to add the. Those of you who don't know, parky means a bit cold. I think that's not only English. I mean, that's very much, I think, Northern England. I mean, we use that in Manchester a lot. It's a bit parky today. It's parky. Cold. Nice. 2 thumbs. Great. Good. Nice. Nice. Ooh. Almost. The weather is a bit gloomy over here. Nice. Hey, it's nippy in my country. It's sunny, but sometimes partly cloudy. Brilliant. Good. Guys, absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love the jazz. That was very laid back, wasn't it? Well, a nice way to do questions and answers. Well done. Really, really good. Now then, whoops, I've turned off the wrong one. I meant to turn off the question. Okay. Brilliant. So we've talked about vocabulary. What's coming up next? After vocabulary is interview. Ooh, what time is it? Yeah, let's move on to the interview because of time. So, interview. What's happening in the interview? Well, in the interview, earlier in the week, I spoke to another teacher, a friend of mine who I have met through the internet. There's a lot of teachers now moving online and starting to teach online. Some people, like this teacher, has been online for a long time. I mean, she's an expert in online teaching and training. Her name is Fiona. She's been on the live lesson many moons ago, a long time ago. I've decided to invite her back. And I did an interview with her because I wanted to share with all of you some natural English, right? I mean, it's great to listen to me, is it? Well, okay, it's okay to listen to me, but it's probably even better sometimes to listen to 2 people talking and the interaction and how the conversation develops in English and the natural English that 2 speakers use, right? So that's why I wanted to share with you this interview, and I'm sure I will do more in the future. It's quite short. It's between 10 and 15 minutes. Before we watch, I'm going to just help you with some of the language that comes up, some of the vocabulary, so that when you're listening to the interview, you go, useful, right? So let me just show this with you. I'll just share over here. Where are we? Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. I've lost it. Where are you? Here we go. So, teacher interview. I've called it IELTS Speaking Conversations because it is a conversation. It's the kind of topic we talk about, yes, is what you may get in IELTS. And tips, because we do talk about how to learn English and how to prepare for IELTS. It's Fiona. She has a Welsh accent, so she's originally from Wales. So this is great that you get to listen to other accents, because I know some students say, Keith, I listen to you, I understand everything. I watch a film on Netflix, I don't understand. And that's good, but it's so important you listen to other accents, especially if you're preparing for IELTS. Listen to Canadian, American, Australian, New Zealand, Irish, Scottish, Welsh. It really is important you get a wide range of accents, not just for IELTS, but to help your general English. Okay, so we talk about in the interview Fiona's passion, what she loves doing, and we talk about some tips for learners. Okay, now I'm going to share with you some useful vocabulary before we listen, so you can see this. Okay. This is interesting. Rehaman says, and this is good, I remember her accent was very difficult. Yes, it's challenging, but that's good for you, right? Really, really good. Okay. Pradeep says she's genuinely perfect in English. I met her over the internet. Great. Good, good. Fatim says, could you ask her why she cut off streaming video? I will ask her. I'm not sure. I didn't know that she cut off that. I can ask her. I can't wait to listen to her. Fantastic. Great. Gairav, girls always pass in every interview. Don't worry, I'm going to interview some men as well very, very soon as well. Okay, so let's look at some vocabulary. This comes up, right? We talk about parallels. Now, a parallel is... Oh, come on. When you need a prop, you can't find a prop. Let me take my tatty mobile phone. I do apologise, my mobile phone is extremely tatty. Needs a new cover, right? The phone and the ruler, my daughter's ruler. Now, the phone and the ruler are next to each other, but they're not parallel. Now, they are parallel. Now, they are not parallel. And now, they are crossing. But if I put them like this, they are parallel. Now they are parallel. So they're going in a line. They will never meet, right? Now, that's physical, but also when we're talking about abstract ideas, parallels, we talk about parallels. So we talk about parallels between something, between A and B, okay? For example, there are parallels, similarities between going to the gym and learning English. There are parallels between preparing for a marathon and preparing for IELTS. Okay, so here the meaning really is similarities. In this case, in this context, when it's abstract, right? Okay. Next, to have something in mind. It's a really good expression. So to have something in mind, you can guess, right? It's in your head to be thinking about something. Let's go for dinner. Where do you want to go? Do you have a place in mind? Yeah, I have a place in mind. In fact, I have a topic in mind for next week's lesson. I have somebody in mind for the new job we're doing, right? We're looking for somebody. I have somebody in mind I'm thinking about, okay? Great. I have a goal in mind, right? Thinking about something. To be consistent, I should add, to be consistent it's a word you may know, but consistent is to do the same thing a day after day after day. To be consistent. So to do something regularly, every day or regularly. Maybe it's every week. When I put a video on YouTube, I do it every week. I do it consistently. You need to be consistent, right? Great. As soon as. Now, this is a conjunction that we use a lot, right? But what I want you to notice is the pronunciation. Soon as I. So actually in spoken English, we don't say as soon as I get on the road. No, we say soon as I. Soon as I. Soon as I sounds like a Japanese chef. For me, it sounds like a Japanese name. Sunazai desu ka? Soon as I. Soon as I get on the road, soon as I get up, right? Can you say that? Soon as I get up, I have breakfast. Soon as I get home, I have a cup of tea. Soon as I, right? Just to focus on the pronunciation, that might help your listening. This is very colloquial, but it's good English. It's informal. But, you know, for IELTS speaking, that's absolutely fine. To plod along. To plod along is to continue doing something slowly and boringly. For example, you might say, I was, or I am. Let's say I am. I am plodding along with my studies. So I'm doing my studies. It's slow. It's boring. I'm plodding along, right? I'm writing a book. I don't like it. It's taking a long time. It's slow. It's boring. I'm plodding along writing my book. My new project at work is plodding along, right? It just means it's a bit slow. It's boring. It's not exciting. But it's still going. It's still happening. So there's kind of an idea. I'm plodding along. Sometimes we or students can say, you know, I'm preparing for IELTS. It's taking me 6 months. It's a bit slow, right? And it can be maybe boring or a bit frustrating. I'm plodding along, right? My preparation is plodding along, or I am plodding along. Great, nice expression. And the last one, to be spoon-fed. So to be spoon-fed, you can probably guess, right? If somebody takes a spoon and feeds you, you're like a baby. We do spoon feed babies. But if you spoon feed a person, an adult, it means to give them so much information and so much help, they don't have to think, right? Do everything for that person. It's a slightly negative word, right? To be spoon fed. So we often say, students at school, they don't need to be spoon fed. Give them some help, but don't do everything for them, right? Make them do the work. Don't spoon feed students, or they don't need to be spoon fed. So to be spoon fed, to give so much information that a person doesn't need to think. So it's a negative idea. Okay. I think that was the last one. Yes, that was the last one. So just a few words to help you, right? We've got parallels, to have something in mind, to be consistent, as soon as I, to plod along, and to be spoon-fed. Now we're going to watch, and I would like you to answer the following questions. Where does she live? What are her 2 passions? And what are her tips for learning? Right? Okay. Yeah, Lucy, you're right. Yes, spoon-fed is to spoil. Yes, it's that meaning. So as a verb, to spoon feed is to spoil. To be spoon fed is to be spoilt. Let's put it that way. Yes, let's keep to be spoon fed is to be spoilt. So let's keep it with the same form, right? To be spoon fed is to be spoilt. Great. Good. How different from keep in mind? George, yeah, similar. But keep is to keep it on a long period of time, right? Welsh reading practice. Welsh listening practice. Haliminta, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm plodding along, learning spoken English. Yeah, good. Remember, after a preposition, if you've got a verb, if you have a verb after a preposition, it's always ing. So along is a preposition plus a verb must be ing. I'm plodding along learning spoken English. Good. Excellent. Good. So listen, those are the questions. You've got a moment there to see them. Where does she live? What are her two passions? What are her tips for learning? As you hear the answer, you can type in the chat below, and then we'll discuss them later. Okay. So here we go. Short interview with Fiona. Let's find out what it's all about. Are you ready? Here we go. Hi, Fiona. Great to see you. How are you?
Good, thanks. Nice to see you again, Keith.
And you too. How is everything over there where you are in the UK?
Yes, good. It's pretty cold, but all okay. Pretty calm at the moment.
And just for people watching, tell us where you are exactly at the moment.
I'm in Colchester, which is quite close to London. It's kind of by the coast.
Right. Okay. And tell us what you do, Fiona.
I run a IELTS Members Academy, so it's a kind of a study program for students. I help them prepare for the IELTS test, and I'm a learning technologist as well.
Wow, a learning technologist. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I work at the University of Essex and I just help students, lecturers learn, especially since COVID, learn online. So putting their materials online and making them more interactive and working out all the tech behind Zoom and giving dual delivery lectures and stuff like that.
Wow, fantastic. I guess online learning is becoming all the rage, right, these days?
Yes, yeah, though it is interesting. People definitely want to get back into class now.
Mm, right.
Mm.
Fantastic. So, listen, we're going to talk a little bit today about, well, I guess two things. One is learning English, but the other one is your passion and your hobby and what you enjoy doing. Let's begin with that. Tell us a bit about your what's your passion? What do you enjoy doing?
Okay, well, I mentioned that I love technology,
Yeah.
and that is a huge passion of mine, especially learning technology. But my other passion is kind of to get me off the computer. So it's running. I do a lot of running, and I always equate running to how you prepare for the IELTS test in many ways.
Mhm.
So I think there's lots of parallels and lots of things we can learn about IELTS from actually going running. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's start there. Tell us more about that. What are some of those parallels?
Well, things like if you've got a goal in mind, you work towards it and you have to be consistent. So you can't just run at the weekend and expect to get better.
Mm,
And I think that's the same with language learning. You've got to run or do something every day, more or less, to get better. As soon as you stop, your fitness levels completely drop. So when COVID happened, I used to be a really fast runner, really fast, but that it just went overnight. And the struggle to get the fitness back is, I think, is the same with language learning. You can see it. I track it on my tech tools, and as soon as you stop, you see physically your levels of fitness going down. And I
wow.
think that must be the same with language learning because the brain is a muscle. Pronunciation is all about muscle, and I think that as soon as you stop, then you lose it. And
Yeah.
then I think, well, I shouldn't be disappointed with my results because I'm not running. So the other thing is you can't be disappointed if you haven't maintained that fitness. It all kind of works itself out. It makes sense that if you don't train that muscle, it's
Yeah.
not going to get faster. Yeah.
So
So I think there's lots of parallels. Yes.
controlling your expectations, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
interesting. I've my experience is very similar. I mean, with French, for example, I hardly use it. I've not used it for years. And although I watch Lupin on Netflix and I understand it, but I can't speak. I mean, my fluency, as you say, it's for me the fluency is what goes. I kind of remember the words, but fluency. And there was a teacher who used to say to me, if you don't use it, you lose it. And
Exactly.
it's true, very very true. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
And
go ahead.
The other thing yesterday I noticed, it's a silly thing, but I went for a long 10-mile run yesterday, and most of it was on my own in the fields, and I was plodding along very slowly, not putting any effort in.
Mm.
And I thought, oh, I much prefer running by myself. But then as soon as I got on the road and cars going past, I thought, oh God, people are looking at me, and I suddenly sped up. I just started, trying to look like I was a proper runner. And I think that's the importance of a community as well, and accountability, is that it's fine studying on your own. You can learn a lot, but I think you do need people there. If you run a race and you've got people going faster than you and slower than you, you're always measuring yourself against them. And I know you shouldn't compare yourself, but it's motivational. You see what other people are doing, and you see, how did they get to be so fast? I've got to work harder. And I like that idea of community running as well. And the days you don't want to go out for a run, if somebody comes and says, do you fancy a run, you're much more likely to do it. So with language learning as well, I think the community aspect is really important.
Right. Motivation. And I guess learning
Yeah,
from other people, right? Not just learning from the
exactly.
teacher, but learning from others.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
even the kind of repetition. So when you have a coach, you do quite boring drills, and you hate them, and they you run around a track, and but that's how you get faster, isn't it? It's weight training. You repeat the same thing 20 times. And I think with language again, it's making things automatic. You have to do the boring stuff, the drills, to get that muscle just to functioning without thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also into technology. I'm a big fan of drills and technology. So just having even audio clips where people can repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat,
Yes.
like the 10 repetitions in the gym, and just doing it until it starts to automate, right?
Exactly, exactly. Like
Yeah.
like anything, like driving a car that you don't even think about it anymore, changing gears and everything. Yeah, it's just automation, and it comes from repetition. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm interested in running. How did you get into running?
I think there's a thing in the UK. It's called park run. Do you
Yeah.
know about
I do
that?
know that
Have
my
you?
brother does them. Yeah.
Who does he?
Yeah.
What does he do?
Well, he lives right next door to the park, and every weekend they have they're called family park runs. So you can run either the circuit, I think, is about 1K. You can either go once or twice or three times. So it's accessible for the parents with the pram, or the children, or the serious runners. Um, and it's just getting the families out, exercise into the park. So he goes round with his wife. They do the kind of 3 laps. I mean, they're quite serious runners. They're triathlon,
Oh,
triathlete. Is that a word? Triathlete.
yeah.
They are
Yes.
triathletes.
Wow. So they
Mm.
do like Ironman and stuff like that.
My brother's done Ironman. Yeah. Yes.
Goodness.
Yeah.
That's my ultimate goal.
Whoa, that'd be cool. Well, Iron Woman, right?
Yes, indeed. But the thing about parkrun, it's tech again, it's tech and community. So you get a barcode, and where I live, it's a 5K run. And yeah, you get a barcode, and as soon as you go through the finish line, you scan your barcode, and later in the day, it's uploaded onto this site where you can see if you've got better this week or worse, and you get badges. And when you've done 50 runs, you get a t-shirt, and
Whoa.
you walk around with your 50 run t-shirt. And again, it's all about, it's regular, it's consistent, it's 9 o'clock every Saturday morning, but the next time you want to get faster. So that makes you work during the week as well. You can't
Mm,
just turn up at 9 o'clock. Well, you could if it's just pleasure, it's fine.
mm, mm.
But again, there's community, there's events, people bring cakes, and so that's what got me started. It's been the best thing, the best innovation to get people out.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I love that kind of gamification, right? Getting badges, getting a
gamification.
t-shirt,
Yes,
leveling up.
yes, yes, exactly.
So
Admire.
do you have a t-shirt yet?
I've got my 50, yes, but then I stopped before COVID. It all
Mm,
stopped.
right.
So yeah,
So what with running, what's your goal? What's in 2022, what's your goal with running?
Goal is just to get back into it and get my speed back up. Slowed down so badly. I've got a half marathon in 2 weeks, and we'll see how it goes. I used to do it in an hour and 45. Now it's about 2.5 hours.
Right,
So
right. You're a bit out of shape.
very out of shape. Yes.
Fantastic. Well, good luck with that goal. That sounds great. Let's let's talk a little bit about learning English, because obviously you've been in education for a long time. You've been teaching English a long time. What would you give us maybe a tip or advice to students learning English?
Okay,
Mm.
well, because I work at the university as well, and I see people go from maybe doing their IELTS test to coming to university, and that includes home students. I think the thing most people, it's hard to say, need to do is just to read more than the book list. And that's a kind of metaphor. You know, you're given, here's the book list, and then some people will just read the three books because they have to. But it's the people who read more out of interest that will shine. And I think there's a tendency, especially with exam related learning English, there's a tendency to just work for the exam and to, you know, be spoon fed a little bit and to just learn lists. And I think we've got to see language learning as that, as a passion for the language rather than having to just pass the test. Does that make sense?
It does make sense because I agree. I think some people, not just in language learning, but the
No.
mentality of doing the bare minimum and
Yeah.
that's it. Whereas
Yeah.
you may just pass, but actually for bigger success, going beyond the bare minimum is the way to go. Totally agree.
Exactly. And there's that I think there's a grammatical term called noticing, or it's a theory, it's just called noticing language, isn't it? And
Yeah.
this, you know, you might learn the present perfect as a grammar rule, but until you start listening to people and kind of noticing, oh, he just said, have you ever? Why did he say, you know, why did he choose that? Why didn't he choose, did you? You know, that you're constantly questioning and asking questions about language.
Yeah, that I agree. That curiosity is so useful, right? So how important, I mean, you're talking there a little bit about people learning how to learn. How important do you think it is for students to learn not only English, but how to learn?
That goes hand in hand with it, exactly. Study skills and kind of learner independence skills and time management skills, organizing your notes, writing things down. I,
Mm,
yeah, I think that can just make such a huge difference. The number of times I get a lot of questions on Instagram and they say, is this correct? And I kind of say, well, Google it first because you're more likely to remember it if you do the research than if I just tell you the answer. And I'm constantly saying to my students, you know, well, go and find out first, come back, tell me when you found out, and then I'll help. Again, tech, you know, it's all there for us now. You can go on Quizlet, quickly create your own list of flashcards. You don't need the teacher to do it for you.
mm.
Um, yeah,
So there's a
and
danger of students over relying on the teacher.
exactly,
Mm.
exactly. Yeah,
Or a final word maybe for IELTS students. What would you say to IELTS students?
I think to stop thinking of IELTS as a subject. It's not, you know, it's not a subject. It's a language, and when you think of it as a language, then you'll focus more on learning the language than on just passing the test. That is
Yeah,
how I see it.
sounds fantastic. That sounds really good. Brilliant. Fiona, we're going to wind up. I'm just admiring your backdrop. I love the Fiona little thing in the frame, and I love your gaming chair. Is that a gaming chair?
It is. It is. Yeah, it is.
Nice. Brilliant. So Fiona, if students watching, if they're interested, how and where can they find out more about you?
Um, if you just Google IELTS with Fiona, hopefully it'll probably come up. My website is IELTS ETC, which means etc. because it's more than just IELTS. But IELTS with Fiona, I'm everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube.
I've noticed it. You're all over the place. I don't know how you manage it. You must be so busy. Great.
I've been quiet recently, but I've been working on the courses, so hopefully I'll be back on social media soon.
Right. And you've now got a new kind of revamped course for
Yes.
your academy, right? It's a membership where people can learn IELTS.
Yes, it's
Brilliant.
a kind of study program, a community, and I've been completely revamping it, as you said. So it's about to go live again. Yes,
Sounds nice. So if people go to your website, I'll give them the link. They can find out more there, right?
yes.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Great. Well, listen, Fiona, it's been absolutely brilliant catching up with you and hearing about your passion of running. And I love all the parallels between running and studying for IELTS. Sounds great.
Great. Thanks very much, Keith. Lovely to see you again.
No problem. Take care. All the best.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. What's that? Well, great. Okay. Well, listen, if you're still watching, thumbs up. Well done. You deserve a t-shirt like the park run t-shirts, right? We should have Keith Speaking Academy t-shirts. I say because that was quite long. I realize actually now watching it again, that was about 15 minutes. For you to concentrate on a conversation for 15 minutes is quite difficult. So well done for staying with us and sticking through it. Really good. So that was interesting. That was Fiona from IELTS with Fiona. Very interesting teacher, some great ideas. I loved some of your messages. We've got some here. I think some of these capture the ideas. Harriet says, stop thinking of IELTS as a subject. Think of it as a language and learning will come easy. Absolutely. Azrav says, great advice for students. Yes. Fiona is a gamer. Maybe she is. I was surprised by her chair. It's nice. Yeah, very, very interesting. Kijan, but IELTS is challenging. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But be patient and enjoy your journey as you go through, right? Sazwan, I appreciate sport women. Yeah, sports women. She's a runner. She's a very serious and a very good runner as well. Radhi says her advice is repetition, practice, repetition until it becomes automatically. As an experienced driver, don't think about changing the gears. That's again a lovely parallel between driving and studying. Nice summary. Excellent. Good. What else have we got? She suggests to read books about personal interests. Yeah, don't just read the books for your English and for your IELTS or even for your university study. Read wider. So important. Talking about books, somebody asked me, what's that dictionary in the background? This one, right? It's a big, thick book, right? But it's the Collins English Dictionary for Advanced Learners. This is not a promotion. It's just somebody asked. I have this because it's one of my favorite dictionaries. It's built on a corpus, a very, very big corpus. So it's natural, good language. And it's for advanced learners. So it's not just for native speakers. It's geared towards learners as well. I can recommend that. I think it's a very, very good book. If you're interested in a grammar reference book, another one that's on my desk there is Practical English Usage by Michael Swan, published by Oxford. Again, not a promotion, but as a reference book, right? Remember my video. Don't start with the grammar, but start with speaking. But as a reference, Practical English Usage. It's good. Questions we had from me. We've got watch and listen. And as I promised, if you want to look for Fiona on the internet, she's everywhere. I don't know how she does it. She's on YouTube, she's on Twitter, on LinkedIn. IELTS with Fiona. The website is ieltsetc.com. Lots of really useful materials there for not just speaking, but for writing, listening, and reading. So go and check her out. Right. Where does she live? Let's get into these questions and let's get them sorted out. Where does she live? Well, Akosua, she lives in Colchester. Well done. A lot of you got that, actually, right at the start. Colchester, in the UK. Absolutely, that is where she lives. Well done, you. And I saw a lot of people got that at the start as well. Fantastic. Let me just see your other answers. Where are we? Number 2. What are her 2 passions? What are her 2 passions? I'm trying to find some of your answers. Parallel universe. Yes, we did talk about parallels. Can't find your answers. Can you type your answers again? Because I've lost them. Boba Fond. Lost you. Okay, Green Lantern. Oh, none of you are coming up. Come on, it's going too fast. Running and teaching. Yes and no. Johnny Beck, technology and running. Absolutely. Technology. Not teachnology, technology and running. She says that she's a learning technologist, I think she said, right? I think it was a learning technologist or a teaching technologist. Yeah, learning technologist. There are lots of names for this, but people who help others learn and teach online. That's what she does. Absolutely. So yeah, running and technology. Those were the ones. Fatima, IELTS. I think you're right. Actually, I think it's as well as technology and IELTS. She's very passionate about. Sorry, as well as technology and running, she's very passionate about IELTS as well. I think that's true. What are her tips for learning English? Right. I think the number 1 tip, as Yolanda says, is be consistent, right? To be consistent. I think that was the first one, to be consistent. Any others that you've put in? Learning technology. Anything else? Books, yeah. And books in particular, as Anna says, read more than the book list, right? There was this expression, do more than the bare minimum. So the bare minimum is the minimum, just enough. Don't do just enough. You must do more than just enough to be successful in life. It's true. Do it every day. Absolutely. This one, absolutely. Stop learning IELTS as a subject. Yeah. Steep. Come on, Keith. Stop learning IELTS as a subject. And think of it as a language, right? It's much more important. This was good. Be consistent. Shouldn't be disappointed with results, especially if you haven't practiced, and compare with others for motivation. And I think she talks about being in a Leslie, thank you very much for that. Being in a community. In a community. To get motivation. That idea that if she was running and she saw somebody going really quickly, she wants to catch up, motivates you, right, with others. So there are communities. I mean, there are Facebook communities. A lot of people have membership communities. Fiona has a membership community where you can get motivation with others. Fantastic. I think those were the main things. Repetition was another one. Yeah. Facebook user. Good. Be consistent. Lots of repetition. Like being down the gym. That parallel of being down the gym, right? Lots of parallels. To do the drills till you become automated. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Brilliant. Love it. Lots of really good comments and good ideas. So I hope that was useful. I hope it can give you some ideas with your study. I hope it's also good for the interviews for you to practice your listening. I think maybe in future I'll try and break it into shorter chunks. It's quite long, I realise, but you're doing really, really well. Well done. Great. So we've been talking about Fiona's passions and also about tips for learning English. What's next after the interview? Do you remember? What was next? Let me have a look. Idioms was next. Okay, idioms. Idioms are an important part of speaking. They're very important. Well, they're quite important for your IELTS speaking. But not just for IELTS, but actually just for your overall English. As Fiona points out, right, for your concentration should not just be exam technique, but your overall English. Idioms are a very important part of that. So let's have a look at idioms for weather, for talking about weather. Now, there's a difference between idioms that include words about the weather and idioms about talking about the weather. For example, a fair weather friend is a friend who is only with you in the good times. And if things go bad, they disappear. That's a fair weather friend. That is nothing to do with weather, right? That is about friendships. So I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at idioms to talk about the weather. Okay. I'm going to share 4 with you, and you may have more as well. Okay. So please do feel free to share them with me. Let's have a look. Let me come back over here. Come rain or shine. Come rain or shine. Whatever happens. I've just realized my mistake. Okay. Okay, let me share with you anyway. Come rain or shine means whatever happens. Every Friday, we watch a family film, come rain or shine. Doesn't matter. This can be used abstract, talking about things that you do, right? I go to work every Monday, come rain or shine, whatever happens. Every Friday, we have fish for dinner. That's true. Every Friday, we have fish for dinner, come rain or shine. It can also be talking about the weather, right? Come rain or shine. It doesn't matter if it's going to rain. If it doesn't matter if it's raining, every morning I go for a walk, come rain or shine. So it can be used in both contexts. To pour down, we talked about this, right? To pour is literally when you pour something. So to pour down is to rain a lot. It's a phrasal verb, but it's idiomatic, right? For example, it's been pouring down for hours. I wish it would stop. It's been pouring down for hours. I wish it would stop. Okay, pour down. To pick up, meaning to get better. Pick up has lots of different meanings, but here we're talking about the weather picking up, to get better. The weather has been terrible lately. Dismal leather. Do you remember dismal? Let's use that because that's a new word. It's a nice word. The weather has been dismal lately, but it's picking up at last. So maybe it's been raining, but now we have a sunny spell. It's picking up at last, to get better, right? Nice. Out of the blue. Yesterday, out of the blue, we had a typhoon. So out of the blue it's an adjective phrase to describe something that is totally unexpected. I mean, in Santander, we don't have typhoons, but out of the blue, yesterday, we had a typhoon. Out of the blue. Okay. Great. Good. Those are the 4 that I've got. I had to rack my brains for this one to talk about the weather. Okay, we've got rain on my parade. Again, it's a good one. It's not about weather, but if somebody ruins your pleasure or plans, they rain on your parade. Yeah, okay, great. The weather has been dismal lately, but it's picking up at last. Good. Nova, yeah, it's been raining cats and dogs, as we mentioned earlier. This is okay, but we don't use it very much nowadays. It's a bit of an old-fashioned phrase, which is why I decided not to include it. Pradeep says, I always try to join Keith's IELTS live session, although I am snowed under with my job. Ah, right. So to be snowed under with my work, that is like pour down. Yeah. So let's do that. That's nice. Again, it's not talking about the weather. To be snowed under is to have a lot of work. Yeah, the trouble is it's not about the weather, is it? It's snow is the weather, but you're talking about work and about too much work. But okay, thanks for sharing, Pradeep. Nice. Love your avatar as well. Kat Lee, good. You're in there. Yosra, again, we've got others using weather vocabulary. He stole my thunder. He took the attention away from me. Good. To rain on my parade, ruin my pleasure. Okay, great. Nastina, I agree. April showers bring more flowers. It's not an idiom, but nice. I like it. That's nice. April showers bring more flowers. It's true. This is interesting. I can see what you're trying to do. Don't think too much. Come rain or shine, just act to pick up something out of the blue. Yes. Now, in this context, come rain or shine, perfect. Out of the blue, perfect. Pick up something here. If you're using it with an object, it means to learn something. Right? So the difference between pick up something means to learn something. Something picks up means to get better, right? Maybe I can just make that clear because it's an interesting point, right, that you're making. To pick up something idiomatically can be to learn, right? But if you say something picks up, means to get better, right? My work is picking up. It's getting better. If a company is selling something, you can say the sales are picking up, getting better. But I pick up French. I'm learning French. I'm picking up how to play the guitar. I'm learning, right? Informally. So I love what you're doing, Big B, 1, 2, 3. Big B, 1, 2, 3. But just bear in mind, to pick up something here, you have a slightly different meaning. It still makes sense, actually. And I love what you and others are doing, which is practicing new language, finding out if it works or if not, and then improving and getting better. So fantastic. Well done. Thank you very, very much for sharing all of that, right? Yosra, perk up, pick up means the same. Exactly. Yes. Okay. Khan says, my English knowledge is increasing. It's out of the blue. Great. Good. Good. Sophia, you've also got the one which is under the weather. Yep. To feel ill. I'm a bit under the weather. I feel ill. Again, the difference between talking about weather and a weather idiom, right? But nice. Still very, very true. Okay. Excellent. I'm going to move on because of time. Because of time. Where are we? What was after idioms? I know what's after idioms. I don't even have to go here. What's after idioms is the Kahoot review. We're going to finish up with a short, small game to review some of the language that we've seen in today's lesson. Have you been paying attention or have you been napping? I wonder. We're about to find out. So let's do that. What you need to do is, before we do this, let me just remind you, Key Speaking Academy. Go and check out if you want to find more information about IELTS on the Key Speaking Academy. If you want to study with me, you can follow my online course. If you enjoy my teaching and if you're looking for more, only if you're looking for more, go and check out IELTS Speaking Success Get a Band 7 Plus. Moderators can share the links with you, but if you go to the website, you can find it. I'm going to show you. Very, very easy. All you have to do is go here. And on the homepage of the Key Speaking Academy, it says Study with Me. Can you see that? If you press there, that will take you to the course, Study with Me, and you can find out it was updated recently for 2022. So there are some new questions and topics in there. You can find out about the course. There's a video about the introduction, what you'll learn, more about me and what students say. And if you want to buy, just click on any of the buy now buttons and you're in, you're there, okay? If it's what you want at the moment. Great. Let's finish with Kahoot today. Somebody once said to me, never say let's finish because then everybody leaves the class. Never say that. We've still got the game. Kahoot, you need to go here. Go to kahoot.it. We're going to play the game together. You don't need to download it. You can download it on your mobile phone. Tatty mobile phone. Look at that. That's ridiculous. You can download it on the mobile phone if you want, or just go in the browser to kahoot.it, put in your name and PIN number. And then we're going to play 4 questions and let's see who is the winner. Okay. So go to kahoot.it. Remember to keep watching me because you need to see the questions, right, as well. Don't turn me off. That's the thing about online teaching. If you don't like the teacher, turn it off. If you're face to face, you can't turn the teacher off, can you? You have to sit there and wait until the teacher finishes. So go to kahoot.it, put in your name and then the PIN number. And you're saying, Keith, what's the PIN number? That's a very good question. Please be patient. I'm just finding the PIN number for you now. Let me show you. I'll show you what we're waiting for. We're waiting for this. There you go. Okay, the PIN is 6564664. So it's at kahoot.it 6564664. Go and join and just wait a moment and we'll start the game and find out how many of you are on the ball. On the ball. I mean, you know, alert, awake. Can you hear the music? Is the music still there, right? I can hardly hear it. Oh, yes, now I can hear it. Yosra, I saw your comment about you can't access the course. Send me an email if you can, just to remind me, and I will check into it. I'll check it out later. Just send me an email. You should get automatic access. Guys, thanks for sharing the pin with everybody. Spring says, we are here with our phones. Nice. Winchester, thank you for sharing the knowledge. I feel like my English is picking up. Fantastic. I'm pleased your English is picking up. That's great. Okay, we've got Quite a lot of people in. Let's begin. Yeah, before it gets a bit too late. Let's begin. Take off Kahoot. Okay, so basically the way it works, you will see a question. You'll then see 4 colors. Each color is an answer. I'll read out the answer, but you can see the answer on my screen. And then choose the correct answer. Whoever is the fastest is the winner, right? Okay, let's do it. Weather. First question. Which is the odd one out? Meaning which one is different? Scorching, sweltering, overcast, or boiling? Which is the odd one out? Which one is different? You've got 30 seconds to decide if you need that long. Right, good. Some of you are putting the answer in the chat. That's absolutely great. That's good. Ooh, interesting. 57 got overcast. Quite a few of you said scorching, and actually 23 said boiling. Well, overcast is the correct answer because it means not bright. It's dark, dull, and cloudy. The others mean very hot. Scorching, sweltering, and boiling all mean very hot. Okay, so great. Let's move on. Question. Oh, before the question, we got the scoreboard. Dwong is back. Dwong, I'm convinced that you've hacked the system. Convinced, because you're there every week. Shu is in second place. Yuen is in third place. Excellent. Question number 2. We get a lot of torrential blank in the autumn. Wind, sun, droughts, or rain? Dum, dum. We get a lot of torrential what? Torrential blank. Wind, sun, droughts, or rain? 3, 2, 1. And the answer, of course, the answer is rain, right? Torrential rain, meaning very heavy rain, intense rain. Now, some of you put wind, torrential wind. No, it doesn't really collocate with wind. We wouldn't say torrential wind. You can say strong wind, strong winds, if it's countable. We get a lot of strong winds in the autumn. Wind can be both countable and uncountable. Sun and rain, uncountable. Droughts, countable. But torrential rain was the answer. Great. Let's move on. So Dwong is up in first place. Urvi has moved into second place. And Prayut is in third place. Boris is party number 7. Oh, that's made my day. Thank you very much for that name. Great. Question number 3. I will stay with you, come rain or sun, wind, shine, downpours. What do you think? Let's see. Ruya, well done. Zinat, well done. Ibrahim, well done. Giuliano, well done. Yolanda, nice. Black, well done. Black Heart. Okay, the answer was shine. Look at that. 94 of you got that right. Well done. That's a very common expression, a very nice one, meaning whatever happens, I will stay with you, come rain or shine. How romantic, right? Let's see how we're doing on the board. Dong is up there. Urvi is second. Boris is third. Looks pretty much the same. Okay, let's move on, I think, to question number 4, the last question. At last, the weather is starting to pick in, up, on, at. The weather is starting to pick what? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is wow, outstanding. 117 of you got pick up, meaning to get better. Something is picking up. Well, let's say this for a start. Your English is definitely picking up. Well done, all of you. Brilliant. Oh, I'm very pleased. That's made me very happy. Something's working. Let's have a look at the podium. Third place, Boris, but maybe he'll be kicked out. Number 2, Irvi. And in first place, surprise, surprise, it's Duong is back. Well done, sir. Very, very nice. That's it. Oh, love it. Great. So Kahoot, it is a bit of a Kahoot. It's a bit of fun and a nice way for you to review and revise some of the language you've seen today. Remember, you can get the PDF of today's notes. Do you remember today's notes? All of these things over there. You'll get the PDF of that. Going to my website, go to the live lessons, and you'll find it there. It takes about 3 or 4 hours for us to edit it and upload it. So come back later or tomorrow and you can get it there, right? And that can help you with your studies. And if you want more, as I mentioned, you can study more with IELTS Speaking Success, Get a Band 7+. It's my online course. Again, just go to the website. You can find it there, Key Speaking Academy, and you can click on any of the links to the course and you'll find it. Excellent. Good. If you are on YouTube, do remember, please do subscribe so you can get notifications. Notifications, that's the button. Get notifications about upcoming lessons. Just to let you know what's coming. So, because I'm working on a few different projects, the live lessons are going to be every second week. Right? So today, yes. Next week, no. The week after, yes. So every second week, there'll be a live lesson. But the good news is next week, there will be a recorded video. So next Saturday, not the day after tomorrow, but next week, there'll be a recorded video. So you get live video 1 week. Recorded video the next week. Live video 1 week. Recorded video the next week. The next recorded video is all about IELTS Speaking Part 3. That is a real challenge for some people. Probably, in my opinion, the most important part of the test, but the most neglected. People spend such little time there. It's where you should spend most of your time. So look out for that next week on Saturday the what? Saturday, I can tell you the date if I get my calendar out. That is going to be on Saturday the... where are we? Come on, Keith. Get it together. The 8th, the 8th of February. It'll be about IELTS Speaking Part 3. You can find that out there. Good. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a bit of a long lesson, but if you're still here, well done. You deserve a Park Run t-shirt. I hope you've enjoyed the class today. We have seen a lot of different stuff, right? We've been talking about the weather. We've been looking at vocabulary, using adjectives, nouns, and verbs to talk about the weather in different ways, the weather in your city, or the weather that you have where you live. We've done lots of listening today with that interview with Fiona. Remember, go and check her out at Fiona, IELTS with Fiona. And I hope that has helped develop your listening skills, understanding different accents and live interaction between two people. We've looked at some interesting idioms to talk about the weather, as well as using weather words, let us say. And we've finished up discovering that you're all awake, you're all paying attention. I can't wait to see you soon. If you fancy watching another video, there's lots on my YouTube channel. If you fancy finding something out more about me, then go to the Keith Speaking Academy website. Lots of information there, articles, live lessons, links to the course. Good. Look, although it's overcast, I can see the sun is peeping out. We're going to have some sunny spells today. I hope where you live, there's sunshine in your head, if not in the sky. Take care, my friend, and we'll speak soon. All the best now. Bye-bye. Take care.